What's up? I've never gone live on YouTube before, but I thought, why not? Why not go live? I just made a fire and I have some vegetables in the oven, and so let's move a little bit and like maybe this will work and we'll check it out. I'm not sure if I have it hooked up right or what's up, but anyways, I love you guys. Happy New Year. And I'm going to hopefully come on here every once in a while. I don't know if I'll commit to once a week, but every so often I'm going to try and pop in and move with you guys. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, so on your mat, if you have a mat, get to it. Okay, cool. You can see everything. And land, you might want to block. If you don't have a block, catch a little pillow or something. Oh, I love making fires. Okay, and just sit on your block. Take your hands to your bum, lift your cheeks, widen your seat. And then take your hands to the inner thigh and curl your shoulders forward, chin to chest, round through the upper back. Now try and pull your thighs apart until you feel your shoulder blades expand and you feel this beautiful stretch through the thoracic spine. Widening the space between the shoulder blades, curling in, feel the expanse. You can glide your ribs side to side. When that feels good, hold that awareness of the back as you lengthen through the front of the body. Lift your chin, open your throat, and go inside. Breathe here. Inviting a connected breath. Inhales traveling deep into the pit of your belly. And exhale, softening shoulders, softening face, landing a little more heavy, a little more grounded. Place both of your hands one on top of the other to your heart. Presence with your heartbeat. Notice that with your hands at your heart, you begin to breathe a little more fully all the way up into the chest. Breathe deeply. Lift the corners of your mouth and promise yourself a beautiful practice. Give your heart a little squish before you sweep your arms wide all the way up to the sky. Stretch way up high. Reaching to lengthen through the belly, lengthen into the sides, opening up. And connect your hands above your head, slide them down through heart center and bow your head. May the good intentions of each new year, and especially this one, can carry us forward with sweetness, love, and momentum in the best ways. If you're sitting on a block, just take the block and move it to the side. Maybe take a sip of your tea. Tea is nice. And we'll start in all fours, hands and knees. So taking the hands as wide as your mat and walking the knees back so that the knees stack underneath of your hips. We want the wrists to land just ahead of the shoulders versus a straight stack. You'll notice that when you stack your shoulders over top of your wrists, it's quite heavy. And so let your hips slide back. Allow the belly to soften and take weight off of the wrists by making sure that the wrists are ahead of the shoulders. And then begin to slide into your ribs side to side. So allowing the hips to pull you back and then gliding into the side ribs, back and forth. Like you're drawing little half circles. Allowing the body to move intuitively. Noticing as the ribs move wide to one side, the opposite ear drops to the shoulder. Hold presence through the whole rib cage. And letting the hips sweep you back with a soft belly. Let's add to these half circles. Glide wide to one side, drop your chin through your chest, press down the mat as you roll through the back. Feel the fullness of your shoulder blades expand and widen, and then let your hips sweep you back other side, glide wide. And chin drops through your chest, press down the mat, and really broaden through the back of the heart. Hips slide back. And a couple more times at your own pace, just finding that roll through the back. And gliding into the sides. And when it's even, coming back through center. Slide your hips back. Press down the mat nice and strong. Really find that full expansion through the back of the heart. Even curling your chin into your chest and pressing down the mat to really broaden through the back. Feel your shoulder blades expand and widen, lifting upwards. Can take some subtle glide side to side with the ribs. And then come back to a more neutral space. Let your hips lead you back. Lift your chin and hold the fullness of your heart. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, rise all the way up into hands and feet. Walk your feet as wide as your hips or as wide as the mat, whatever feels right. Bend into the knees. Let your belly move towards the thighs. From this space, send your butt way up high and wide. Resist your pause down and out to the side until you feel this connection into the butt, into your glute medius. As we extend through the back lane of the legs, feel the extension. It's almost like the hamstring is tensing and releasing as we gently pulse, press the paw down and out. Now carry your heart forward just a little bit. So moving a little bit more forward versus downward, kind of letting the heart melt. It's taking more active engagement into the heart space by reaching the heart forward a little bit, pressing down the mat, and holding that full expression through the back of the heart. Bend your knees, root your hips back wide and high, and then reach your heart forward. Bend the knees, root the hips back wide and high, and then stretch your heart forward. Bend, root back wide. Resist your pause down and back as you stretch your heart forward, Push down the mat to broaden through the back. One more time, bend, slide back wide and high. Resist your pause down and back as you creep your heart forward, lengthening the belly, filling through the heart. Bend your knees. Externally rotate your right hand, twist toes and knees to the left. Knees bend forward, hips root back and wide, rise, lift and lengthen into the left side. Find a pulse here. Use your paws connected to root the hips wide. Let your belly soften long and open towards the left side. Think about lifting the ribs up versus just shooting the ribs forward. So we tack the hips back and then peel open. Take one more pulse here. Come back through center, hands and feet. Bend your knees, little shift of your hips side to side, weaving and winding into the belly. Find some stillness. Connect your paws, bend your knees, root your hips wide and high, and resist your paws down and out to the side. Externally rotate your left hand just a little bit, toes and knees twist to the right. Knees bend forward, hips slide back and wide. Rise, lift and lengthen, open into the right side. Find your pulses here. Let your belly soften and open long towards the right. Think about rising the space underneath of the right armpit. Chin is lifted and the whole central channel is long from the pelvic floor through to the crown of the head. Breathe. One more pulse here. And come back through center. Carry your heart forward, press down the mat. Hold the fullness in your back as you lower your knees down to the mat. Connect your toes behind you. Slide your hips back into child's pose. Let your heart melt. If it doesn't feel good to melt your heart, you can always take wide elbows with a double fist stack. Finding a place that feels good to land here. Maybe having a sip of tea. Connect into the grippiness of your hands and roll your spine forward. Fix your knees underneath of the hips and begin to undulate your spine. So slide your hips back and wide. Feel the length and tension of the belly. And then curl forward. Chin wraps to the chest, shoulder blades broaden as you round through the back. Slide back, slide wide. Lengthen the belly. And then curl forward. Chin tucks to chest, round through the upper back. Press down the mat. And find your wave, articulating each little piece of the spine. Slide your hips back and lift your hands all the way up, coming up onto your knees. Press the top of the foot down, gently drag back for a low hollow in the ankle or like a little bridge. Reach your arms ahead of your heart, reaching the arms just forward of the shoulders. And the more you press forward, the more you expand the space between the shoulder blades. So allowing your thoracic spine to be full and open. Slide your hips back and wide and begin to glide your ribs side to side. This quality like the ribs are floating or flying. And the arms just sort of hold space while the ribs move from side to side, finding more length, more openness in a gentle way. And come back through center. Press your arms forward to sweep them back, catching both sides of the skull. The elbows hug forward and narrow. And press your head into your hand, let your neck get long and open. Slide your hips back and wide. Hold your roots. Rise through the center, heart lifts to sky. Belly stretch, hips glide back. Lift and lengthen, heart lifts up. Hips slide back, slide wide. Hold the roots, hold the hollows in the groins as you rise into the heart, opening up through the belly. Take one more lift up. Sit back, curl in, chin to chest, rounding through the upper back. Glide your ribs side to side, connect into the back. And take your time, breathe. Come back through center. Root your hips wide. Let your belly soften forward and long. Rise your heart all the way back up. Big stretch. Open up. One last pulse through the middle. Reach up. And then release your hands. Stretch them back forward. Move your way back into all fours, hands and knees. So again, the hands land ahead of the shoulders so that the wrists are ahead of the shoulders. There's space for the belly to be long. And begin to pulse forward and back. As you pull the heart forward, press down the mat and feel your armpits hollow upwards as you broaden through the back. And as you slide your hips back, feel the belly lengthen, tense, and tone. The hips widening back behind. Each time you pull your hips back, gently press your knees down and out to the side to connect into the glute medius. Crown of the head reaches forward as the hips energetically pull back and wide. Okay, slide your hips way back and peel the left knee open to the side. Place your paw to the mat. Kickstand the right foot out just a little bit. Slide your hips back and wide. Rise, lift, and lengthen like you're peeling open into the left side. Hips root back. Belly lengthens as you rise, open into the left side body. Use your left paw to dig down, drag back. And then rising the space underneath of the left armpit. Chin is lifted, throat is open. There's this gentle cascading of the right ear to right shoulder. Take your left hand and give yourself a little half hug. Catch the right ribs. Root your hips back and begin to revolve your ribs. Hips slide back and wide. And then a little gentle twist. It's like a lift and twist. Hips back. Lift and twist. Reach your left arm forward and long. Think about holding the space between the shoulder blades so that the arm presses ahead of the shoulder and stretches forward. Option to stay with your arm reaching long. Option to connect into a bind, left hand to right forearm. Root your hips back and wide and begin to spiral your ribs open. We think about the right ribs revolving upwards as the hips slide back. The belly is long, working into the rotation of the ribs. And play with a gentle resistance of the hand pulling against the forearm to deepen the stretch along the side. And take one more. You release the bind if you've caught it. Connect your left hand to the front of your left thigh. Pick up your foot, open leg to the side. Resist your knee forward into the pressure of your hand. Allow your hips to root back and lift up underneath of the right ribs. The chin is lifted, the throat is open. Option to stay static, holding this alignment. Option to find a little pulse. The knee pushes forward into the resistance of your hand, and then the heart springs forward. We work into some biomechanics here. As the knee moves forward, the hips slide back, slide wide. Hold the length of the belly, hold the fullness of the heart. Okay, find some stillness. I'm going to step this left foot back behind. I like to snuggle my foot into the ankle to ankle. You can always have it a little bit further back if that feels better. And we're going to sit the bum back towards the heels and reach your left arm long. Option to connect into that bind one more time. Root your hips back and begin to open up even more. Think about tacking the hips back. Hold the hollows in your groins as you open your heart up. One more pulse. Release your bind. Left fingertips back to the left side of the mat. Sit your bum back. Unlink your ankle and connect your left ankle in front of the right thigh. So you kind of make a little number 4 here. Left ankle in front of the right thigh. Slide your butt, slide back and wide, and then pulse your heart forward. Option to keep your fingertips to the mat. Option to take your left hand to your left butt. Pull your flesh up as you sit back, sit deep. Widening your pelvic floor, widening your butt up, out to the side, stretching deeper. And to keep the belly long, and the lower lumbar moving in and your spine aligned. One more pulse here. Okay, unlink your ankle, come back into all fours, hands and knees. And take some barrel rolls, big circular motions of your rib cage. Full expression as you round through the back. You're welcome to connect your head into some rolls in the opposite direction. And switch your roll other way. Okay, find some stillness. Walk your hands forward, heart melting pose. Keep your hips high and melt your heart down towards the ground. You can take your forehead to the mat if that feels okay. Little rock of the forehead side to side to massage your third eye. If that does not feel good, you're welcome to take wide elbows with the double fist stack and land here. Deep breaths. And take one more breath here. And link into your hands, little grippiness, and roll your spine forward. All fours, hands and knees. Thread the needle, right arm underneath of the left. Land the right side of your head to the mat. Option to keep your left hand planted to the mat where it is. Option to take your left hand, wrap it around your back to catch the inside edge of your right thigh. Little bind, let yourself soften here and breathe. Unwind your bind if you've caught one. Take your left hand back down to the mat. Use your hand to press yourself all the way back up. Two hands to the mat. And begin to pulse forward and back. Hips slide wide as the heart reaches forward. Maybe you need another sip of tea. You can have that. We're pulsing forward and back. Holding the alignment of your spine as you shift forward and back. The belly is soft and long, and the heart, the whole rib cage is expanding wide on all sides. And connecting into the glutes and to the posterior chain by pressing the top of the foot down and gently dragging it back, as well as pressing the knees down, forward and out to the side. Okay, sit your hips way back and peel your right knee open to the side. Place your paw to the mat. Kickstand the left foot out just a little bit. Hips slide back and wide. Rise, lift, and lengthen into the right side. So it's sort of like peeling open. Root your hips back, and then little bit by little bit, rise into the right side. Hips root back. Belly so long. Holding the central channel open. Crown of the head reaches as the hips root wide. Can use your right paw, dig down, drag back as you lift into the right ribs. Thinking about rising it like this space right here underneath of the armpit. Take your right hand, give yourself a half hug, catching the left ribs, slide your hips back. Begin to rotate your ribs, little lift and twist. There's nothing cranking here, it's just gentle. The hips root back, gentle revolution of the ribs. Take a stretch. Right arm reaches forward and long. Think about pressing the arm just ahead of the shoulder so that you can maintain that full expression, shoulder blades broad and expansive. Right hand to left forearm. Slide your hips back and wide and begin to Rotate your ribs, open into the spine, slide back, slide wide. Left ribs revolve up towards the sky, open up. Little twists, little rotation of the ribs. And consider your left groin, keep it tacked back as you open into the spiral of your ribs. And take one more pulse. Release your bind. Right hand to left forearm. Nope. Right hand to left thigh. And pick up your foot, open leg to the side. Press your knee forward into the resistance of your hands. Feel your hips slide wide. Lift up underneath of the left armpit, underneath the left ribs. Lift the chin. Option to stay. Option to play with a little knee pushes forward into your hand, hips slide wide, and then spring your heart forward. Knee forward, hips back, spring. Working with the biomechanics of the body. The knee moves forward and the hips slide wide. Heart reaches forward, chin lifted, throat open. Belly and spine stay long and aligned. Okay, find some stillness. Just step the right foot back behind. You can snuggle the ankles together or take a little more space, whatever feels right. Sit your hips back and take a big stretch. Kneeling back cat, big stretch. Option to catch that same bind, right hand to left forearm, and continue to wind open. This time revolving a little bit more into the depth of this belly side stretch. Hips slide back, big stretch, reach into the openness. Take one more. Release your bind if you caught one. Fingertips can land back to the right side of the mat. Unlink your ankle from behind your other ankle and take your right foot, place it in front of the left thigh or knee. Okay, so it's kind of like a little number 4 shape. The toes face towards the right, the heel towards the left. Fingertips land, gentle slide back, slide wide. Option to stay here, just creeping into your hip, into your bum. Option to take your right hand to your right butt. Pull the flesh up as you sit back, sit deep. Yes. This is the juicy stuff. Feels good. Hips way back, way wide. And take one more. Okay, release your hand, unlink your ankle, come back to all fours. Take a couple of undulations of your spine, slide wide and curl forward. Let this be free and soft. Hips slide back and wide and curl forward. Okay, find some stillness. Left hand threads underneath of the right. Thread the needle, let your left side head land to the mat. First stop just keeps the right hand planted here. You could even gently press the mat down and push away a little bit to feel a stretch in the back. So first stop, stay. Second stop, if you have the space, wraps around behind the back to catch the inside edge of the left thigh. Little bind sometimes feels good. Breathe. Release your bind, unwind. Take your right hand back down to the mat. Use it to press yourself all the way back up. Hands and knees, press the mat strong, slide your hips back and wide, tuck your toes to lift up hands and feet. Take a couple of petals of your heels, maybe a little shift of your hips side to side. Okay. Press your paws down and out to the side. Bend your knees and root your hips back and wide. Feel the hips high and the legs engaged, the belly long. Now slide your heart forward just a little bit. Externally rotate your right hand, toes and knees twist to the right, to the left. Bend your knees, root your hips back and wide, rise, lift and lengthen into the right side. What is the left side? Left side. And take a stretch, reach your left arm long. Connect into a bind, left hand to right forearm. Root your hips back, wind open. Hips slide back, twist the right ribs up towards the sky. Hold the bind. Left foot slides behind, step back cat. Bend your knees, root your hips wide towards the right, and begin to open into the side. Bend, root back wide, and twist it open. One more, bend, root back, root wide, and twist it open. Okay, release your bind. Left hand, light fingertips back to the left side. Keep your left leg lifted as you shift. We're going to place the left foot kind of almost behind the left hand a little bit. Pivot on the right, deep bend into the knees, slide your fingertips back. If you have a block, you can have a block. If you don't have a block and you need more space, you can take your hands to the tops of your thighs or to the shin or wherever feels right. And we're just going to pulse length into the front leg. So thinking about maintaining the alignment of the spine, lower lumbar moving into its natural curve. Hips root back and wide. Pause, resist down and out to the side. Little juicy opening into your front left hammy. Okay. Lift your heart up high and take your left forearm to the top of your left thigh. Root your hips back and stretch your right arm forward and long, lengthen to the right side. And take a couple pulses, reaching to extend. And then connect to a single crown, your right fist to the crown of your head, elbow hugs narrow. With the right paw, dig down, drag back as you extend into the pressure of your hands. Hips root back and wide, lengthen the belly, open up. And take one more pulse. Okay, release your hands back down to the mat. Hands plant strong, step back, hands and feet. Little shift, little pedal, whatever you need. Okay. Externally rotate your left hand, toes and knees twist to the right. Knees bend forward, hips slide back, rise, lift and lengthen into the right side. It's like you're turning yourself into a human rainbow. We think about rising here versus just shooting forward. So tack your hips back and rise by peeling open into the side ribs. Big stretch, reach arm forward and long. And take your right hand to your left forearm. Slide your hips back and wide and begin to open into the bind. Hold the bind. Slide your right foot back behind, step back cat. Bend your knees, root your hips wide towards the left, and then continue to open into your twist. Bend, root back, and twist it open. Bend, root back, twist open. We'll take one more pulse. Feel into it, breathe deeply. Release your bind. Right fingertips to the right side of the mat. Right foot steps forward, kind of just behind the right hand. Pivot on the left. Deep bend into the knees. Slide your fingertips back. Begin to slide your hips forward and back. Option for a block to the inside edge of the right foot. Option to take hands to the shin or up to the thigh, whatever feels best. When I think about keeping the lower lumbar moving into its natural curve, the hips rooting wide and high. I'm thinking about rooting the right femur back into the hip socket. Toes connected, pressing down and out to the side. Okay. Lift your heart up. Connect your right forearm to the top of your thigh. Use your left paw, dig down, drag back, and then take a big stretch. Reach the left arm forward and long. Hips pull back and wide, big stretch. Single crown, connect the left fist to the crown of the head. The elbow is narrow. Root the hips back. Peel the belly long and open as you resist your head into your hand. Couple pulses here, feeling into the openness. Yeah. And then release. Hands down to the mat. Plant them strong. Step back, hands and feet. And pedal your heels. Okay. Wide knees. Connect your toes. Sit back, child's pose. Melt your heart. Land here heavy. Take a pause and rest. Connect into your hands and roll your spine forward. And take your right foot towards your left knee to sit your bum back, back, back. So you kind of land in these ninja chop legs. And we'll take the left hand to the right knee, right fingertips back behind. Lift presence, lift length into the torso, and little twist. Connect your right hand behind you, pretty much exactly where it is. Lift your hips and sweep back, open into the belly. Do that Twice more, sit back. You can drop your left hand down, curl chin in, feel the back. And then lift it up, big stretch, reach to open. And one more time. A little curl in, connect into the back. Lift the hips and sweep all the way back. And then drop your butt. Extend your left leg long. Hands can catch the bum, pull the flesh out from underneath of you. You can take your left heel, dig down and drag back gently. You'll feel a connection into the back line of your leg pretty much instantly. So keeping a little bit of a pocket in the back of your left knee. Fingertips can land on either side of the extended leg. Hold length and openness through the belly. Sometimes I like to drag my fingertips back towards my hips to feel a little stretch into the back and into the shoulders, to the armpits. Okay, you can stay in a more active space like this. You're welcome to fold. If you fold, sometimes it's nice to rock. Lock your hands back. And take your right foot, plant the paw in front of you. Connect your left heel, dig the heel down and drag it back. Reach your arms ahead of your heart and little shift forward to lift up. Sit back down. This heel is digging down, so we hold the tension and engagement in the back line of the leg. Arms reaching forward, chin lifted, little tip. One more time. Paw is connected, heart is full. The left heel is digging down, dragging back, little shift. Meow, meow, meow. Hands can walk forward and place your foot back down, or just bring your left foot back to the mat. Little pulse forward and back. Externally rotate your right hand, toes and knees twist to the left. Bend your knees, slide your hips back and wide, rise, lift and lengthen into the left side. Option to stay, option to drop your right foot, pick up your left, 3-point base. Root your right femur back wide and high into your hip socket. Left knee keeps hugging in towards the belly. Rise into the left ribs. Option to stay, 3-point base. Option to connect into a one arm, one leg side balance. Root your hips high and wide. Press down the mat so strong. Hold the lightness in the ribs. Left hand to the front of the thigh. Press your knee into your hand. Chin is lifted. Crown is reaching as the hips root back and wide. One more full breath in. And then release your hand down. Come back down, hands and feet. Deep bends into the knees, little shift of your hips. Okay, find your solid base. Gentle bend into the knees, hips rising high and wide. And press down the mat to hold the fullness in the back. Externally rotate your left hand, toes and knees twist to the right. Knees bend forward, hips slide back and wide, rise, lift and lengthen into the right side. Option to stay, option to drop your left foot, pick up the right, 3-point base. As we pick up this right foot, the left toes can pivot to the top right corner of the mat. Root your left femur back wide and high into the hip socket. Rise into the right ribs. Option to stay, option to play with balance. One arm, one leg, side balance. Root your hips back wide and high. Lift the chin. Resist your knee into the pressure of your hand. Open the belly. Find lightness. Find breath. And take one more full breath in. And exhale, release the hand to the mat. Come back, all fours, hands and feet. Wide knees takes you all the way down. Sit back, child's pose. Melt your heart, breathe. And roll your spine forward. This time we'll take the left foot up towards the right knee. Walk your hands back to sit back on your bum. Little ninja chop legs. You can fix yourself if you need. So it should be that the left calf is forward and the right calf is behind. We'll take a little twist. Right hand to the left knee. Left fingertips land lightly behind. Lift your chin. Open your throat. Plant your hand down pretty much exactly where it is. We're going to sweep the right arm low and then back as we lift the hips up. Stretch back. And then drop your bum. Curl in. You can take your right fist towards the ground to fill into the back. And then lift it up. Big stretch. Reach back. Drop your bum. Curl it in. Fill the back. And one more time, lift your hips, sweep back, and take a big stretch. And then sit your bum. Extend your right leg out to the side. You can take your hands to your bum, pull the flesh out from behind. With your right heel, dig your heel down and drag back so that you connect into the engagement in the back line of your leg. You should have like a little pocket in the back of the knee. Fingertips can land on either side of the extended leg. And you can use your fingertips to drag back and use your right heel to drag back. So you feel this connected engagement into the armpits, into the back, into the belly. Option to stay more active, just like this. Option to melt forward. If you melt forward, I like to rock. And just notice how a rock will shift your sensations. You walk your hands back, lifting all the way up. Take your left paw just forward, just to the mat. Keep that connection of the heel digging down and dragging back. Reach your arms forward, and then little lift of your butt. And then drop it back down. This heel, we want to keep it definitely digging down and dragging back so we maintain an engagement in the back line of the leg. Chin is lifted, heart is full, little shift to lift. And sit back down one more time. Heart is full, little shift to lift. Walk your hands forward. And then step your right foot back, hands and feet, little pedal. And take a couple of dynamic bends and extends. Little shift of your hips side to side, like you're washing and rinsing it out. Okay. Externally rotate right hand, toes and knees twist to the left. Take a couple of pulses here. And externally rotate the left hand, drop it down to twist all the way over to the right. Knees forward, hips wide, rise. Rinsing it out last time. Big bend into the knees, lower the left hip down. Support yourself so that you can extend the left arm to the top right corner of the mat. Lie onto your side to transition to the back. Shift to the center of your mat. Catch your knees, cup them, and let them pull heavy away. Little rock side to side. And place your feet to the mat. Right ankle over top of the left thigh. Pull in to catch the shin, or maybe the left hand to the left knee and the right hand to the right knee. Resist your ankle into your thigh and your thigh back into your ankle. You can take some little rock side to side here. And find stillness. Lift your arms into the sky. Keep your legs connected as they are. Resist your ankle into your thigh and find some length through the center line. The legs move as a unit away as the arms stretch back. Reach to feel the belly lengthen and then lift it back up. Reach long. Belly stretches like an elastic band and then lift it back up. The chin is lifted, the throat is open. And take one more. Okay, place your left foot to the mat and allow your legs to fall easy twist to the right. Take your fingertips, land them above your head, and the right hand can catch the outside edge of the left elbow. Resist your elbow wide to broaden through the back of the heart. Feel your shoulder blades expand. And breathe. Lift your chin. Open your throat. And rise back through center. Uncross your legs. Left ankle over top of the right thigh. Pull in to catch the shin. You want the lower lumbar to be lifted into its natural curve so that the belly is long. Resist your ankle into your thigh. Maybe the right hand catches the right knee and the left hand to the left knee. Little rock side to side. Find a neutral space in the center. Keep your legs like they are. Reach your arms up into the sky and find some length through the belly. Let the legs move away as a unit as the arms reach back. Stretch, open the belly, and then lift it back up. The ankle can resist into the thigh, thigh back into the ankle. Stretch long, and then lift it up. Like the belly turns into this elastic band as you reach, lengthening the center, opening, and then lift it up. Stretch long and lift it up. One last time. And then place your right foot to the mat. Allow your legs to fall as a unit to the left side. Fingertips land above your head, elbows to the sky. The left hand can catch the outside edge of the right elbow. Resist your elbow wide. Lift your chin and breathe. Rise back through center. And take your legs and cross them, but bring your knees into the air to 90 degrees. Reach your arms up into the sky. Let your heels tap low as your arms reach back. Again, working into the lengthening of the belly, like a little elastic band stretching through the midline. Open, and then lift it up. Place your feet to the mat, chin up by your hands, elbows to the sky, and wash your knees side to side. I think my wood needs some more fire. And I think my vegetables are done. We'll end in a butterfly. Connect your feet, knees wide. If you need some support underneath of the knees, like blocks or pillows, you can take that. One hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and breathe. Extend your legs long. Take your hands, catch your bum, spread your cheeks. Give yourself a big love hug, even lifting the shoulders, the rib cage up away from the mat. So you really broaden the spaciousness of the back and then lower back down in fullness and expansion. Arms out to the side, palms up or down. You can decide. Lift your chin, open your throat, and take a deep breath in. And exhale, let go. Land heavy. And rest in the sweetness, the vibration. Meow, meow, meow. Stay for as long as you have. My loves, if you have space or time, we have 5 days of ritual, which begins January 4th. That is this Monday, and it's free. So you should come on in. I will link it up below, but it's an offering from all of the teachers on daily ritual plus myself. Some teaching, some movement, some meditation, some good shit. So we would love to have you there. And yeah, that's all. I love you guys. Happy New Year. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. Or evening or morning or whatever it is where you are. Thanks for practicing. Peace, you guys. Love you guys.